When someone praised a rhetor for his ability to make trivial matters seem important, he replied, "Nor would I call a cobbler great merely because he makes large shoes for a small foot." Whenever he happened to hear people expressing blame or praise, he would carefully examine the way of life, both of those speaking and of those being spoken about. When he was still a child, during the great festival in honor of Pythian Apollo, the director of one of the festival performances assigned him a minor role, although it had already been determined that he would become king. He obeyed and said, "I shall prove that it is not positions that give worth to men, but men who give worth to positions." Once, when he saw a little boy drag a rodent out of its hole, only for it to bite his hand, he said, "If even the smallest of creatures defends itself like this against those who wrong it, what do you think human beings ought to do?" When he was asked how the laws of Lycurgus had benefited him, he replied, "By teaching me to despise material pleasures." To a Greek from another city, a foreigner, who expressed admiration for the simplicity of his clothing and diet as king, as well as that of the other Lacedaemonians, he said, "By this way of life, we purchase our freedom." When someone asked him why, at his advanced age, he went about without a tunic, he replied, "Kings and elders must set an example for the young." As he was passing through their city, the Thasians offered him a variety of luxurious foods and drinks. He kept only the flour and ordered the rest to be taken back. When they persisted and begged him to accept the gifts, he told them to distribute them among the slaves. When they asked why, he said, "Such pleasures do not befit the virtuous. What is bait for the servile is alien to the free." When the Thasians honored Agesilaus because of the great favors he had done for them, they sent an embassy to announce it. He read through the list of their extravagant honors and asked whether their city had the power to make men gods. When they said it did, he replied, "Then make yourselves gods first, and if you succeed, make me one too." When the Greek cities of Asia decided by decree to display images of him in their cities, he forbade it, saying, "Let there be no image of me, neither painted, nor sculpted, nor crafted." When they asked him how far Laconia extended, he replied, "As far as our spear reaches." To another who asked why Sparta had no walls, he pointed to the Spartans and said, "There are the walls of the Lacedaemonians." When someone else asked the same question, he said, "A city should not be fortified with stones and timber, but with the virtue of its citizens. He urged his friends to seek wealth in virtue and not in money. When asked how he had won all this glory, he said, "By holding death in contempt." When he learned that in a battle at Corinth, only a few Spartans had been killed, but many Corinthians and Athenians, he sighed deeply and said, "Alas for Greece, which by its own fault has lost men numerous enough to defeat all the barbarians." When someone asked him what accounted for the Spartans' eudaimonia, he replied, "The fact that they train more than others both to rule and to be ruled." To someone who boasted of the very strong walls of his city, he said, "By Zeus, they seem fine to me, but fit for women to live behind, not men." When they asked him which of the two virtues was preferable, courage or justice, he replied, "Courage is useless unless it is accompanied by justice." If everyone were just, courage would not be needed. The Greeks of the cities in Asia are unworthy as free citizens, but worthy as slaves. When he was asked how someone could acquire worth, he said, "Through excellent speech and noble deeds." O Greek from another city, announce to the Lacedaemonians that here we lie within this earth, faithful to the orders of Sparta.
Ο Ξύν, αγγέλην λακεδαιμονείς, ότι τι δεκείμεθα, της κείνων ρήμαση πειθόμενοι.